Good evening everyone and welcome to Business Transfers for Immigrants event. This event is about business transfers, about buying a company, selling a company, and it is organized by Suomen Yrittäjät and by Startup Refugees. My name is Anneli Komi. I am a business transfer expert. I work for Suomen Yrittäjät, so Federation of Finnish Enterprises. And there I work in two different projects. One of the projects is focusing on rural areas in Finland, and the other one is focusing here in capital area. And in those projects, our goal is to promote business transfers, to help companies, to help entrepreneurs to buy their company, to sell their company, and help buyers to find companies. This is, like Kati said, special greetings to Seinäjoki and to Oulu. I hope you guys have fun there. And in case of any questions, you can ask them while the speakers are here presenting their presentation. You can ask questions. If you are there joining remotely, you find chat box. So write your question there, and we have moderator here who delivers your question speech.
And those ones who are here in Helsinki, you can just raise up your hand when you have a question.
Yes, thanks, Kati. We will have two speakers before coffee break. Unfortunately, Aissa-Manai is not able to join us today. I will show her slides very shortly. And you get all these slides later on. And also this will be recorded, this webinar, and you get recording as well. We will end this event at 7 o'clock. But you who are here at the venue, we will have chance to chat and chance for networking and coffee and etc.
Or ask some ad hoc business advices, whatever you might be. So we have prepared to be here until 8 o'clock. Yes. So no need to rush away.
Few words before I let you and you can present your presentation. We know in Finland that like in any other European countries, also in Finland population is aging. It means that also entrepreneurs are getting old. We know that we have more than 70,000 entrepreneurs who are 55 years old or older. So we have asked what they would like to do, and they say that 50,000 of them would like to find a buyer or successor in next coming years. So this is a situation now in case of old entrepreneurs. But we also know that 15% of all Finnish small and medium-sized companies would like to sell their company as well. We know that 40% of solo entrepreneurs would like to find a buyer as well. So there are already thousands of good companies to buy at the moment, and even more to come. And after this event, I hope that you all know how to find these companies, who is here to help you, and how you could finance this business transfer. If you don't know any of this, then we make this event again happen again, or you come to ask us. But today we are focusing on these things. Now I let you, Kati, say a few words, and maybe you introduce Startup Refugees for us.
Yeah, thank you. Before I say a few words about me, I just would like to thank you for Suomen Yrittäjät and all our collaborators for making this event possible. Thank you to all of our speakers already in advance. From Yrityspörssi, from Seinäjoen ammattikorkeakoulu, from the entrepreneurs, the Thomas who's joining us, and I missed someone.
Well, no, Anna-Mari, Finnvera.
Yeah, from Finnvera, yes. So thank you for all being with us. So if you are specifically interested in one of these talks, it will come. So my name is Kati Lappeteläinen. I am the head of business program at Startup Refugees, which means that I lead a team with whom we support not just refugees, but all immigrants in Finland who are interested in becoming self-employed or starting a business or becoming employed as well. My colleague in Oulu is Muntaser, is located there and is with you guys who are in Oulu right now, and I have my two other colleagues here with me in the Espoo event, in Helsinki event. Very briefly, in addition to entrepreneurship and employment opportunities, we also organize different kinds of trainings for skills development. Skills that you, like professional skills that you may need in order to really start your business and doing it in practice. If you need some certification or, for example, hygiene pass, or you want to learn a little bit about coding, if even though you don't want to become a coder, but maybe you would need to collaborate with coders. Any of these kind of opportunities, you can reach out to us because we can support you in those. We organize entrepreneurship courses. The next one will start already next week, so unfortunately no opportunity to join that, but there will be more courses in different languages, specifically in English, Ukrainian and Russian, and hopefully also some small course in Arabic is coming up this year. So follow us, especially in Facebook, if you want to know more about these and when the application times are open. We can also offer business advisory services, mentoring, small group coaching, and opportunities for testing your business idea and new products or services in practice, even before you have established a business. If you are interested in any of those, you can contact us. I have a couple of pictures to show some of the events where we've been part of together with our entrepreneurs. We have been able to offer them some marketing opportunities, some pop-ups to sell their products. And we regularly collaborate with different festivals and for example, Slush, which also gives some opportunity for many entrepreneurs, including these guys who have started business after they have got some support from us. And here we have the contact information. You can find us at startuprefugees.com in Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn.
Thank you, Kati. Okay, here. Yeah, Aisha Mana is my colleague and says greetings to all of you, and is really sorry that she's not here today, wasn't able to come. Something came up in the last minute, but she wanted to let you know that if you are starting your own business or are already business owner, join this network that they have. This is some numbers. There are some numbers of Suomen Yrittäjät, that we are organization that is in everywhere in Finland and all municipalities, and we have almost 400 local societies and 20 regional associations, and they are all places that you find help when in case of any questions of being an entrepreneur. We have more than 100,000 members at the moment, and in the end there is this slide here that you find more information. So join Facebook Finnish International Entrepreneurs, that's the name of this group. Join that, you'll find many useful information there, and also networking events and all kind of useful information. Yes. That's it. And now we move on to our first speaker, Mr. Juha Tal, who is the big boss and the guru of business transfers in this land, this Finland, because he has been studying business transfer ecosystems, and he's been developing the ecosystem of business transfers in Finland for 20 years. He's a business broker. He's leading this project where I work, and he is a doctor as well. Welcome, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Anneli, for the kind introduction. Very kind. Good to be here. Good to see this kind of audience. This is first time in my life I have this kind of audience and this kind of topic. We have people on site, like Anneli and Kati told. We have people in web, some in Oulu, and some even in Seinäjoki. This is very hybrid event, and welcome you all. And once again, thank you to Anneli and Kati and Startup Refugees to put up this event. From your point of view, this is a small step. But like I said, from my point of view, this is a great event for business transfer ecosystem in Finland. We need you, and I start by saying that Finnish business transfer ecosystem needs you, and I'm going to end my presentation to that. Is this that thing that I should operate?
Yes.
Thank you. Like Anneli kindly said, I've been working with business transfers for about 20 years. I like to be an internationally known advocate for business transfers. I started my journey back in 2001 by starting to advise entrepreneurs in Seinäjoki region how to sell and buy a business, and that was kind of the first step to this topic. At the moment, I work as a R&D specialist at the Seinäjoki University of Applied Sciences, and if that's the full-time job, part-time job is doing some business broker activities, selling and buying businesses, helping people to sell their business, helping people to buy a business, and that's kind of a background for this, let's say, thinking and saying that I'm going to share with you tonight. Myself, I like to see a big picture, and then I want to position myself to the big picture, and that's how I would like to see things. And now I would like to introduce you a big picture of buying and selling a business in Finland. We call it as a business transfer ecosystem, and in the core of this big picture we can see business transfer process. The time before business transfer itself, and the afterward post-business transfer. And this transfer part starts when buyer and seller first time meets each other and start negotiating. And the transfer period ends when deal is done, when you have a name in the paper and business is yours or you sold yours. We need sellers and buyers, advisors and experts, and let's say market and economic conditions in Finland. We think that Finnish business transfer ecosystem is fairly stable as far as market and economic condition goes. It's also fairly stable as far as tax and capital regulation goes. Our tax and capital regulations are pretty much the same now 2023 as they were back in 2001, 22 years ago when I started. And let's say in the European level comparison, it's fairly stable. Why it's important to have stable tax and capital regulation when you talk about business transfer? Because usually when buying and selling a business, somebody have to be able to see up to 5 years forward the life and the business and environment. And if you have a risk of losing your business for some political reasons, people usually are not very anxious to put a big amount of money to buy a firm, but if you can be kind of trust and rely that this political situation stays the way it's now, it's kind of one thing that encourages you to make a transaction. And then in this business transfer ecosystem, I have this one of my favorite, awareness raising. Back in 1994, EU Commission started to promote business transfers at the member states, and it started to promote business transfers by putting up the list of regulations, laws that help people to sell and buy businesses. That was back in 94, and 2014 expert group of EU Commission came up with a report and said that also we need to do some awareness raising with the people about buying and selling a business. And if we take, let's say, kind of a theoretical approach for a moment, there are two kinds of growth in the businesses. It's kind of organic growth and it's acquisitive growth. And in the Finnish business life, this acquisitive growth, it happens not so often. It should happen more often. Most of our entrepreneurs are anxious to grow their businesses. Not very many are anxious to buy businesses. And if you look this at how you use your resources, you get better use for your resources if you buy and sell businesses instead of closing down businesses and making new ones. That was the theoretical part of my presentation. It's done now. Why would I buy a business in Finland? Like I told, our tax and the regulations are fairly stable. That's a good thing. But in generally speaking, ready-made structures, networks, and customers, you don't need to start from the empty table. You have something ready if you buy a business. You have a business model that works in practice. Nobody is selling you the business. I hope nobody would be selling you a business unless she has done something right and some ways of working and doing are proven to be okay and good ones. You should have an income stream from day one. There should be money. There should be euros coming to your account starting from day one. If you make a startup business, you might be dreaming for the day that money starts coming to your account, but when you buy one, you usually you already have this flow ready for you. We have a saying in Finland that business looks like the owner of the business. I'm pretty sure that if any of you goes and buys a business, you look different than the seller. And let's say kind of one way of thinking is that if I buy a business, how would I run it similarly than the seller? But that's not the point I'm making. When you buy a business, it's a good opportunity to make a business look like yourself. If I have a canoe moving on the river, it's better to steer it instead of you have a canoe in the lake and staying in the one place. This kind of ongoing business, you can hop in and then start making with the resources that's coming to your account the business look like yourself. It's doable and people do it many times a year in Finland. According to figures we have now, about 15% of the starting entrepreneurs start by buying, and they are satisfied according to the research. I have been involved in the business transfer research for 20 years, and according our data, if I ask from the person that sold her business Or if I ask a person that bought a business 2-4 years ago, 80% average, 80% of these people are satisfied for the deal they make. In Finnish business transfer ecosystem, buyers and sellers are after the deal satisfied. Buy a small or large business of all sizes do business transfers. In Finnish media, somebody might be remembering that we had this operation called Nokia, and it was sold for some company in Far West, Microsoft or something like that. In our regional newspaper, this event, this deal did get coverage of 5 pages. If I am a solo entrepreneur and I'm running a kiosk or grill in Seinäjoki and I sell my business, nothing is in a newspaper. So we might get an idea that the business transfers are only for the big ones. That's not true. Most business transfers are done within micro businesses. I have been selling or buying or negotiating for the deals that one-person enterprise change ownership many times. And if I were you, first contact an advisor or an expert. She will guide you towards your goal. Experience of doing business transfer is very helpful, very needed. Get somebody to help you. She knows many mistakes to avoid. Probably you don't know even what to avoid, but this kind of experience, that's my, let's say, strong advice for you. Then one additional bonus thing about relating to this topic. What's the size of the risk when you are making a startup business? What's the size of the risk when you are buying a business? According to my experience, I can't tell which risk is bigger or which is, if you are taking a bigger or smaller risk when buying or making a startup firm. I can't tell you, is it the bigger or smaller one, the risk? But what I can tell you is that when you buy a business, you know the size of the risk. When you make a startup business, you don't know the size of the risk. That's a difference. Missä meidän aika? Where's my time going?
You have time.
Come on. Anneli, I like you. yeah. Anneli is my favorite. Now, on this slide, kind of for your background information, myself, I have been living in abroad a couple times, year and a half a year, and I have a kind of thinking that I know something of being in another country. And then that's one experience. Another experience to share with you is that I have been buying and selling businesses in Finland. And when I combine these two experiences, if we want to make a deal or buy a firm, the first step we need is buyer. We can't make business transfers if we don't have a buyer. If we have a buyer, then the second thing we need, by my mind, is an expert. And there are, let's say, in these topics we have two kinds of experts. For the business we are planning to, and for the acquisition, a business broker or something like that. And both are needed. If you have been on the courses of startup refugees, I guess at least you know that in every municipality in Finland we have an advisor to help you. We don't have startup refugees in every municipality, but every municipality do have. It's a bonus if we have startup refugees, of course. Every municipality have a person that's willing to help you. Online platforms to find a target business. In Finland, they are reliable and usable. I would start developing my idea of buying a business by browsing these online platforms. They have been around in Finland for 20 years. There was even the ancestor, mikä on edeltäjä, ancestor of yrityspörssi was around 20 years ago already. And I've been watching the growth path of it for 20 years. Expert on due diligence. If you are buying a business, you should get to your team a fellow that is expert on checking what are the risks in the business that you are buying. Are they financial, are they legal, or are they technical, or what kind of they are? And this kind of helps you to kind of get a clear picture what kind of risk you are taking if you are buying a business. According my experience, when you buy a small firm or micro size of firm, the size of the risks that is included in the deal is, by my mind, fairly doable to figure out fairly well. It depends on the industry or business you are talking about, and many people know the kind of risks that there are there, but be careful and do your job in doing it well. Business plan. It doesn't make a difference by my mind if I am buying a business or starting up one. I need a business plan. If I buy a firm and I see the figures of the seller, I need to write down my own figures. And when I write down my own figures, from those figures that I write down, I can kind of estimate the price that I'm able to pay for the business. And also, let's say, share my view with the banks and financial bodies. Funding. Anna-Mari is not.
She's not here. She's joining us remotely.
Hi there. Hi there. In most cases, one of the deal breakers in acquisitions is funding. According to my experience, no deals are made without funding organized. And let's say kind of a thumb rule or kind of a simplifying thing is that self-financing 20 to 30% of the deal price, then you are okay. If you don't have that 10, 20, 30% in your own pocket, we have this saying in Finland again, and these 3 Fs. There are family, friends, and fools, and many times all these 3 needed to make this self-financing. And please talk to your peers, the people that have bought firms and you know well, learn from them. And if I would make a deal or acquisition in Finland, I would have a board, 2, 3, 4, 5 people that are kind of helping me to get the second opinion and decision to buy. If you don't make a decision to buy, there is no deal. Decision is needed. Was it so that, Anneli, that I have one last slide to go and minute? Oh, I thought that 1 minute. Dear people here, dear people back in the web and Oulu and in Seinäjoki, the key takeaways. Think about you buying a business in Finland. After this event, go to your home, take a mirror and look if there is a buyer in a mirror. Build your winning team. If I would go to any other countries, I would start making my business by making my winning team. Check a few potential target businesses, not one, but few. Do your homework with your business plan. If you do get a green light, buy a business. The Finnish business environment needs immigrant entrepreneurs. We need you. Thank you. Any questions? Thank you. If I would have 2 or 3 options, if I would have 2 options, start up your business or buy your business. Yeah, and kind of third option is this kind of let's say kind of buying a franchising business. That's what you are kind of asking. And let's say the main features of this franchising business are, by my mind, that yes, when you start as a franchising business, you usually need quite a big amount of money to be able to kind of join to the team, and you need big amount of money, and then you get a long list of rules to follow, but also you get let's say the business model. You know, if you do like this, then you go follow the rules, and then everything should go be okay. And now I'm not sure that I did get you right, but my answer would be, or my thinking for you would be that you need to study the rules, you need to study the deal that you are planning to make, and then you have to again take the mirror and look if I wanna be a McDonald's man, is it something that I really wanna be? But what did you ask?
Great. Okay, the other question.
So the question was if it would be better to buy a franchising companies to start and own or buy one.
And
very briefly.
If sorry. If you look around, you may see that we have different kinds of people. By my experience, we have kind of people that for these kind of people, it's good to make your own startup. For this kind of people, they are good in buying, and for some people, they are kind of people that's good to be part of this franchising business. I don't know you so well that I would be able to say what kind of person you are, but that you have to decide yourself.
I understand. I would like to.
Thank you.
Thank you, Juha. That's really good. Well done. But our next speaker before our coffee break is a business owner. She has experience of international business a little bit as well, and she's our partner. We are organizing many events together, and she also started her career or her own what she's doing now by buying a company. So probably we'll hear about that too. She's professional and delightful. Meri, welcome. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Great words, Anneli. No pressure.
No.
Great to be here, and hello everybody. My name is Meri Varkojenhava, and I am actually entrepreneur and a CEO of an online platform called Yrityspörssi. If you don't know Finnish, the name of the platform might sound a little bit complex, but what it means basically, it means it's a company exchange or business exchange. So that's what we do. Everything we do is visible online. So any of you, I would recommend to go and visit our marketplace and see what's there. But I'm going to introduce you to the topic of how to find a business that you could buy in Finland. And as said about myself, I have bought this business actually 5 years ago. I was in a regular job. I was actually dreaming for many years that it would be actually nice to be an entrepreneur someday. And I was thinking of the ideas and like going things through my mind. Also thought about franchising, sort of different options. And then actually one day just got an idea that would it be actually possible to buy a business in Finland, and if there are any businesses to buy. And then I actually typed into a Google that businesses for sale, and that's how I ended up into this online platform. And I was a regular visitor. I was browsing through the different businesses that were there for the sale. I was kind of like digesting the idea of buying a business. Would that be something for me, and what would it require, and also like what to buy, what not to buy as well. Then after a couple of coincidences, I ended up hearing that actually Yrityspörssi would be for sale. We started negotiating with the seller, who by the way was the Federation of the Finnish Enterprises, who had established the business. And after a negotiation, we started establishing like a company of our own, and then we bought the business, full business of Yrityspörssi. And I started as a solo entrepreneur. I was the only one running the business, and now we are myself and then 4 persons who are running it. And I'm going to tell you about my experience, but also how to find a business to buy in Finland, what to consider in general. And like basically what I'm looking at is actually the experiences and the numbers we see in the platform. So that's where my perspective comes from. But yeah, I thought let's go through first of all, what is our business? So then you will understand the perspective. Then you already talked about that in the previous, so why to buy a business, but maybe a little bit of a repetition, it will not harm anyone. And then also how to find the right business for you. Because that's exactly the question like you are thinking, for example, and it's very much understandable because it's a big decision and it's something that's going to define what you do in your everyday life for many years. Maybe also one of the biggest investments in your life, which can be a great investment, but it, like in the worst case scenario, it can also be a poor investment. However, if we look at the statistics, they will tell us that majority, 80% of the buyers and sellers are happy with the choice they made. However, there are also the 20% who are not happy, but still 80% are happy. And also, if it's also like what you do, what kind of choices you make is actually a result whether you will not be among the happy ones. And of course, that should be the goal for everyone. But yeah, first of all, so what is Yrityspörssi? You will find us online. There is the online address, so I recommend everybody to visit our online marketplace. And what we are like, if we look at the number of the visitors in our marketplace, we are the biggest like meeting point for, first of all, business sellers, buyers, and also people who are thinking about becoming an entrepreneur. So our whole like target group is the entrepreneurial-minded people in Finland. So what you can do in our platform, of course, you can buy a business, you can find the right business for you. If you already have a business and you want to sell, then how it works, you can place ad in our platform and then find the right buyer for yourself. Also, we do have franchise chains who are looking for different entrepreneurs in different parts of Finland. And also then there are like experts and other services visible that you might actually need when you are considering your own entrepreneurship journey. A couple of key figures. We have up to 40,000 unique monthly visitors, so unique persons who visit our online platform. On an annual basis, we have a little bit more than 1,300 businesses for sale advertised by our platform. And also looking at the inquiries, so that's like, buyer contacts the seller, seller contacts the buyer. So that's kind of like an interaction between the sellers and the buyers that happens within our platform. We have now more than 10,000 inquiries on an annual basis. So then the part, why to buy a business. There are multiple reasons. I have now listed here 10. There are different ways to interpret that. Maybe actually rather than going through all of these, I will tell you what were my reasons. Why did I buy Yrityspörssi business? First of all, number one, there was this tested business model. I could already see when I was investigating. So what am I actually buying? What is this business? Where does the money come from? Where do I have to put then the money as well, and what's there in between? So I was able to find the proof in the history. Of course, the history, it's not a guarantee of the future, but then I was also thinking about few scenarios. So what if I would do this? What's going to happen to the sales? What if I would do this? What would happen to the revenues? How about investing here? Will it come back to me? And then I made a couple of scenarios. All of the scenarios looked possible and positive. So in that sense, it gave me the proof that, maybe this is something, I can go for. Number 3, cash flow from day one. It was of a high value for me because I wanted to have salary. I had some debt I had to pay back for my apartment, for example, just like regular people have to pay rent, have to pay for the kids' hobbies and so forth. So that was one of the reasons for me, and it did prove to be true. And I think that's one of the clear benefits when you buy something that is already there, because there are the customers, there is the cash flow, there is also ways for you to forecast the future. Think of where does this lead me? So that was very important factor for me. And actually, I think it's quite typical. I've seen multiple researches also, like when you start your own business, entrepreneurs, I think they are typically people who believe in themselves and have a positive thoughts regarding the future. But then eventually, sometimes it can work also that way that you overestimate the speed of generating a cash flow when you start your business from the scratch. While when you buy something where the cash flow is already there, I think you should be able to rely at least that roughly the same amount of money that has been coming into the business, maybe even for 30 years now, if it has been there for many years, maybe 10 years, 2 years, that it should come also after the purchase. So it gives you some ability to forecast the future and to plan the future as well. Also, number 4, I think it's strongly related to the cash flow. Super important thing. So if there are customers already within the business, some of them might have been buying from that specific business you are buying for 20 years, for 30 years. There may be some contracts that are placed, no matter who the owner of the business is, but the contracts, they just continue, and the customers most likely should stay. That should be the goal of buying the business. Then also number 5, a clear thing for me, it was much easier to start developing a marketplace when there were already some hundreds of the ads rather than I was selling ad number 1. It's much more difficult to go from, from customers from 0 customers into 10 than it is from 100 to 200. Also number 9, it was a fast track into the entrepreneurship. The business was there. Of course, you have to do your homework well, but then buying it, I think it was, for me, it was a great choice. I'm one of the happy 80% people here. But I mean, of course, it's really up to you, everyone, to think what are the most important things for you. It's also up to the business and the field where you are. If it's a restaurant business, or if it's a flower shop, or if it's some kind of online platform, it's quite a different business. So I think go through your own motives, take the mirror as you have said, and think what would be your reason and your most important reasons to buy if you are to move into that direction. Also, if you already have a business, I think everybody who wants to grow their business should also consider buying as one of the ways to grow the business. Because again, it's so much faster to buy something existing and then start it from the scratch. So whether you are an entrepreneur or dreaming of becoming an entrepreneur, I think everybody should have at least in their pool of choices the thought and the consideration if I should actually buy one. Then top challenges in acquisitions. This is actually based on the research. So actually from year after year, there's always number 1, finding the buyer. As said, there are tens of thousands of businesses in Finland who will need to find a buyer in the coming years. So in that sense, I think it should be good news for everybody in this room, because if you are thinking of buying, you should also have options. Maybe you want to investigate multiple businesses before you make your choice. And it's also depending, where you are in the process. So whether you're only considering, thinking if this is actually a choice for me. But then you might also be in the process that, okay, I know that I can buy a business, priced from maybe tens of thousands of euros into hundreds of thousands of euros. I know I want it from this field and in this area. Then you are in a different place than the one who is only considering about the option, if it's for you. But nevertheless, where you are, I think it's always a good idea to look for the options, because it's also a fact that not every negotiation goes into an end. That's a fact for the business seller as well as for the buyer. And also once you investigate multiple different options in the process, you're able to compare the businesses with each other. You will learn from each of the project. So I think, I would definitely look at different options. Number 2, valuation. Number 3, financing. But I will not go deeper into those. Then, how to find the right business for you. This is, of course, like our marketplace, Yrityspörssi. So bear me on marketing my business a bit. But anyway, we are like, if you look at the number of the visitor, we are the most visited online marketplace in Finland in this field. You will find today, if you visit our website, you will find more than 700 businesses for sale. And of course, it's a lot of different kind of businesses. Some of them, the lowest price request last year for us was 5,000 euros, while the biggest one was 22 million euros. So that's the range. So there should be something that works for each of you. But I mean, you can find the right one for you by filtering the industry, location, turnover level, price request, for example. And also there are also business owners who look for partners, associates to join their firm. So they're not for selling it for like the full business, but only part of it. And also then definitely worthwhile checking the opportunities within different franchising chains. I have to say our online platform, we have the platform interface in English. However, because the advertisers are typical Finnish entrepreneurs, and they might be themselves who place the ads, or then the experts who help them. So the ads are always in Finnish, or quite typically. But I mean, there is nothing, against that you shouldn't be able to respond. Like, you can all respond to the ads in English as well. Majority of the counterparts will understand. And if they won't, then it's also a clear signal for you. It will be hard to negotiate. So it's good to know from the beginning and be kind of like fast in the process. So whether there are elements for you to negotiate or not. Yeah, so then what to do if you find something interesting? First of all, it's good to know that some of the ads may be anonymous. It's a sensitive thing for the business seller. So that's why some of them are without the name or contact details. In that case, the only opportunity to contact them is to send an inquiry via us. But then also it's an increasing openness in the market as well that we see. So there are also multiple entrepreneurs who place their ad with their name and contact details. And then it's of course a little bit simpler for you to contact them. What you need to provide when you contact them via the platform, you have to tell your contact details. And then there's also a free message that you can send for everybody. What I would recommend is that in the free message part, tell just briefly about who you are, why are you contacting, why are you interested, and also if you have some questions, put them there directly, because then the seller will know that, okay, this person is actually really interested, they actually read my ad. So then I think it will increase the likelihood for you to get answers. If you just put, our ready message that says send a message, it will also tell the seller that, okay, this person maybe didn't read this through so carefully. And also in the case there are multiple, people contacting the seller, then he or she will also have to make a choice. Who am I to continue the discussion with if there are 20 people contacting you? And then you know a little bit of the background, motivation, and then you have the concrete questions from the person who contacts you. It's going to be easier for you to stand out from the crowd. Then what to ask? This is what buyers are typically interested in. Let's not go into details. This is rather, just a list where you can get some ideas what to ask and what to look when you find something interesting. Also, some question marks. So if there is some unclarity in the ownership of the business or conflicting information, then I think that's something to be alerted of. So, at least dig deeper if some of these comes ahead of you. Then, last but the least, just a couple of concrete things that you can utilize starting from today. First of all, of course, check the listing of the businesses for sale. See if there's something interesting for you. In the case there is not something interesting for you today, it doesn't mean that there wouldn't be tomorrow or day after tomorrow. So I would recommend to register into our service, doesn't cost anything, and place a search agent, and you will get an automated email every time when something comes up that matches your criteria. So you'll get an email information. Last but not least, if you already know exactly what you want and you want to have a targeted like a message for the sellers, you can place your own ad and tell that you want to buy something. That's something that costs, so 299 euros plus VAT. But I mean, it's actually... Sorry?
Yearly or monthly?
The 299 is for a 3 months period. If you want to renew it afterwards, it's going to cost you 130 euros to renew it for a 3 months period. But I would recommend to go directly for the 6 months. It's only 20 euros more expensive. So that's the cost. But yeah, these are the tools. So I would recommend everybody to use at least number 1 and 2. And if you already have a vision of what you want to buy, then number 3 is also a very good tool for you. Good. But I mean, this is all that I had. Do we have time for questions or?
Maybe a few
questions
very briefly.
Actually, I have idea for you. I wanted to sell it to you.
Okay, go ahead.
So no, I cannot say it now. So
Okay.
after,
Yes.
it's a good idea, and it will help everybody because it's very important for us.
Okay.
But you can put it in your website.
All right,
You
great.
prepare yourself. You have 10 minutes. Because we are going to have a coffee break now, and we will continue 15 past 6. So see you Oulu and Helsinki later. One question? Okay, very short.
One from online.
How to verify the turnover online? How to make sure that the statistics in the internet is correct while we're making a decision to buy?
Well, I think what we provide an opportunity, but we don't force our sellers to inform is the level of the turnover. But I mean, of course, that's really up to each advertiser to, what they put in there. Somebody want to tell, but then there are also multiple of entrepreneurs who don't want to tell it up front. So what our platform is, it's a contact platform, a place where you can find something to buy, but that doesn't take away the need to dig deeper. So you need to investigate what you're buying, and hopefully properly, and hopefully, using somebody who can help you with. So of course, at that stage, you will most likely go through the financial information of that specific business you are looking to buy. And then at the time, there are like these official documents, financial statements that you should look into.
Okay. Now is the break time, so we have.
Okay.
I'm worried about. See you all people online after 10 minutes. 15 past 6. And please have some coffee. There are also some snacks now available. And please be back here 15 past 6. Yes, thank you.
And welcome back. I hope you all had a great, refreshing break. Hopefully good discussions for those ones who were around people. And for those ones who are online, hold your horses. We are going to have a few minutes in the end of this streaming to go through more of the questions that you have written online. So please continue writing your questions there. We will look at them as well. Our next speaker is going to talk about money. Because one thing that many of you might be thinking now, okay, buying a business actually sounds pretty interesting, maybe quite exciting or like super excited, but how can I make it happen? How do I finance that? You're going to get some answers from Anna-Mari Palo from Finvera, who is a professional in finance. Warmly welcome, Anna-Mari.
I hope you are having a good time and thank you for inviting me. My name is Anna-Mari Palo and I work as a regional manager in Finnvera. And now I will tell you how to finance business transfers. So content of my presentation is here. First, I will tell you shortly Finnvera in brief, then our credit guidelines, about Finnvera's role and financial services, and then I will help you how you can apply for financing. So Finnvera is a financing company. We are a state-owned financing company. Finnvera's task is to finance profitable business. It grants guarantees and loans, and premium is always charged for the financing. And Finnvera does not compete. In fact, we share a risk with the other financiers, and we cooperate with the banks. Finnvera's task is to help Finnish companies. So we provide financing for startup companies, growth companies, those companies who plans to expand international, and companies, for example, who wants to have a business transfer. And we cooperate with banks, as I told earlier. And for example, a bank grants a loan and Finnvera grants a guarantee to a bank. So we give a security and it makes the financing possible. Finnvera always analyze the business. So financing is based on assessment of companies' credit rating. There are few guidelines for financing. There must be always a new financing needs. So Finnvera cannot convert outstanding loans, and it must always be a new need. And Finnvera doesn't provide financing such industries like building developers business, construction of rental housing, companies operating in the financing, investments, and insurance sectors, or farming and forestry. So those are a few guidelines we have. And as I said earlier, the focus is on providing financing to companies facing changes. And business transfer is one of those changes. Finnvera grants financing to about 1,000 business transfers every year. It means that every 4 business transfer in Finland. So last year, Finnvera financed 131 million euros, and that's a lot. And in Finnvera, we have noticed that company arrangements are also an excellent ways for companies to grow. And after ownership change, many companies will invest, they will create new jobs and increase turnover. So many good things are possible to happen. In any way, business transfer is a big invest and external financing is usually needed. And in Finland, the main source is the banking sector. But collateral and equity might be an obstacle to get a bank financing. And in these cases, Finnvera guarantee can often solve this problem. And now I will tell you more about Finnvera's solutions for finance business transfer with Finnvera guarantee and the other finance product, entrepreneur loan. The most common source of external financing is a bank loan. And bank needs a security, which is often covered by Finnvera's guarantee. And Finnvera guarantee can be used in business transactions and equity transactions. And Finnvera's guarantee amount and period will be agreed on case by case, but typical period is from 5 till 7 years. And the usual guarantee is 50% and the maximum is 8. Finnvera guarantee can be used as a guarantee for loans and the other forms of financing, such as a credit limit, a bank guarantee, or a bank guarantee limit. And if Finnvera grants guarantee, the handling fee and commission will be charged. And financing can only be arranged if the project is well planned. Commitment of the owners and self-financing is often needed, and typical self-financing share is about 20% of the financing. In very small acquisitions are often financed the combination of a bank loan and a self-financing share. But Finnvera guarantee is a very good solution for guarantee to have a security for a bank loan. And one part of self-financing may be covered by Finnvera's entrepreneur loan, which is used to either buying shares or to capitalize the buying company. Entrepreneur loan is a personal loan for a business owner, and you can be a founder or shareholder, and loans can also be granted to several founders or shareholders in the same company. And the other conditions are that you must own at least 5% of the company and work in the company, or you must be at least a board member, or you are managing the company, so you are CEO. And of course, your own personal finance must be in a good order. That's important. And a few more conditions. Company's business must be profitable, and a startup company must have a realistic possibilities to have a profitable business. And the loan amount is considered case by case, but the minimum loan amount is 20,000 euros. And because this loan is a personal, so you can use it as a self-financing of business transfer. And that's a very good. Loan period is at maximum 12 years, but typically it's around 7 years, often less than 10 years. And at the beginning, 1 or 2 installment-free years. And loan interest is today around 6.5%. And management fee will also be charged. Then I will help you how you can apply for financing. In business transfers, financing is often a very important part of transaction, and securities and self-financing are important. And when you are buying a business, it's a very good idea to contact financiers as early as possible. And it's a good idea to use help with planning and implementing changes. And help is available in many places in Finland. And in Finnvera's webpage, you will find a link to a public advisory organizations. For example, Suomen Yrittäjät. If you decide to apply financing, so please contact first your bank. Your bank can apply for guarantee, and that's very easy way. The other options is that you can apply financing in our online service. Then we ask you to send us business plan, profit plan, financial statements, and your own economic situation. And after receiving your application and information, we will contact you. And Before making decision, Finnvera makes a business analysis. We estimate financial situation and potential for profitable business. And we assess your goals and plans and the market situation. And after business analysis, Finnvera makes a financing decision. And where do you find us? Here is our contact information. Our customer service is in English and our own specialists help you there. And on a web page, you will find all the information in English. And that's all my presentation. I hope my information is useful and help you to plan financing. And thank you very much. And if it's possible to answer your questions, I'm very happy to answer.
A question from the audience online. In case Finnvera becomes a guarantor for the loan, how long does it take from the stage 1 to the final? So from the time that you make a decision to actually receiving the support?
In fact, we are quite fast. So when you send us the application and all the information, it's a couple of weeks. So maybe I could say it's 2 or 3 weeks.
Is there a limit for the number of entrepreneurs who can get Finnvera guarantee for one business?
No. We don't have any limits. So it's always the case by case.
We have one more question from the audience online. Does Finnvera provide support and funding opportunities for businesses that are launching franchise out abroad? Let's say Finnish franchises abroad.
Yes, of course. We can grant loans and guarantees to a company in Finland who wants to establish something abroad. So yes, we can, and it can be a franchise or it can be just a normal usual business. But Finnvera can grant financing to Finnish companies, and then those companies can expand.
Okay, we have one more question.
Yes.
Okay, two questions.
Yes.
Oleg, do you hear? Probably you can repeat these questions. You okay.
To the microphone.
Thanks.
The question is, does Finnvera provide support if entrepreneur got start-up fund?
Do you mean that a person wants to establish a company? So can Finnvera then grant the financing? Did I understand right? Can we grant the loans and guarantees to a startup company? And yes, that's one of our tasks. It's quite often difficult to have only a bank loan for startup companies. So Finnvera can help you there. It doesn't need to be a business transfer. It can be just a startup company. That's very typical work, and that's a very typical financing we do.
That was very short. From all they specifically asked, there was a map with blue and white dots of the offices. What is the difference between those offices with in blue and white?
Good question. For example, I work in white dots. It means that we grant financing here in Uusimaa, Kymenlaakso, and Etelä-Karjala. So these which are blue, I think they work in different places in Finnvera. Now this might be too difficult to explain. So for the clients, it doesn't matter. So you can just contact us, and the best way to contact is call to our customer service, and they will help you. And it doesn't matter where Do you stay or where is your business? Just please contact us.
Let's move on. Thank you, Anna-Mari. And if you can,
Thank you.
please stay there online. And people here, I know that maybe you, for example, you have a question, but maybe you can go to that website where Anna-Mari is, and she can see the chat box. You can write your question there.
Right now is the link for it.
Yeah, the link was in the email yesterday. So let's move on. And our last but not least, we will hear a story of entrepreneur who has experience of buying a company here in Finland. I have heard a little bit of this story, and I'm really, really happy that he's here to share his story, his interesting story with us. Welcome, Thomas from Providental.
Thank you, Anneli, and thank you, Suomi Yrittäjä, for the chance to talk about this experience I've had. I came here in '98 to do a master's in dentistry, and then I just stayed back with my first job. And just like you all, we are different. So the choices I had when I started my journey was like this. We have opportunity, and we are going back. Let's just go there. Okay. I think, yeah. Okay. So we look at opportunity because that's what is on top of the iceberg. We see the opportunity, and I wanted to be independent. These are the reasons. And frustrations with the work environment and ideas which I wanted to realize and fulfill my potential in Finland, like all of you guys. So I was working in the health center. I was working in the private, and none of this. And already I had the experience, I had the skill, and I learned the language. So when you have all this, you're frustrated. But that's the good part. That's an opportunity. You see Finland with opportunity. Then you look at it, okay, ease of starting the business is also one of the good things. So we go to that one. Let's see how it just works. No, we are stuck there. Go back. Okay, it's not going back. So it's somehow stuck in this. Okay, there it goes. So ease of starting the business is really very easy to start. It's on top of the iceberg. You can see that. Less bureaucracy, online in my times, 30 minutes paperwork, and not much foreigners in the health field in 2005. So in 2005, I started with the toimen of Sole Yrittäjä in 2005. I started selling my services to different people and Mehiläinen, all the big companies. But then I was not satisfied. I'm different. I get looked over for promotions, everything. So then I looked at the finance. Finance is a little bit like you can see half and half. It's not right there down. And so I thought, okay, let's go and get that finance, and let's look at how I got my finance now. It's going all over the place. Let's see. It's not going to the finance. It's not just going there. Let's see. It doesn't want to go there. Okay, wait. Oh, okay, yeah. So yeah. So that's the thing. So the finance is like half submerged and half this thing. So for me, I already started at 2005 as a sole trader to take some small loans to buy some machines or something. So before I made my first purchase, then I already had this goodwill. So if you start to have established in Finland, nobody gave me a loan to buy my house. It took me almost 10 years before they gave me a loan to buy a house. But they gave me a loan here in the finance because I already asked for small loans. So if you ask for 2,000, 5,000, you build that reputation, you keep that value in there. And then you can go and ask them for bigger ones because they see this history. This guy is paying back. So you got to have that thing. So if you're going to go there and ask them with nothing in your pocket and with no history, it's not going to come from Finvera, it's not going to come from the bank, nowhere. That's the truth. So for me, I got my loan from the bank, and it was guaranteed by Finvera when I went for the big one, not for the small ones. Small ones, I just get my personal, guarantee, and I got the small loans. So when you go for the big ones, I got it from the bank. And then we come back, and now we have the iceberg, and we are underneath. So buying a company, that's the main thing. After I was working as a sole entrepreneur, I thought, okay, I looked in the Yritysportti in those days, Yritysportti, or it was like that. I don't know whether it's Porsche or Portti, it could have been Porsche, yeah. Yeah. And then I looked in the Kauppalehti, and for me it was professional magazine. So whether you're a hairdresser, a restaurant, or anything, look in your own field in these magazines. That's where you'll get your first lead before you go to the big chains. That's my advice. And then, before I really went and bought it out, I wanted to know whether I will be accepted. So in 2009, I went and asked the bank for a small loan. It wasn't much, 25,000. And then I bought a place in Mikonkatu, and then I tried it out. I tried my idea, would I be accepted here? Because there's no brown guy around her or anything. So I wanted to know, is it worth it? So I did an emergency service clinic, and then I saw, yes, the customers are coming. So I got this confidence, okay. And that was in 2009. I did that, and then I said, it is going to be really hard for me to do this emergency work for the rest of my life. And then I needed to buy a ready-made company. So yeah, I've already tested it out. I've already got my value. I've built the value with the bank. So you got to do all this hard work. There is no, like this, you're going to be the big successful or you're going to be the thing. So you got to do that, and it takes time.
Tell us what you do for a living.
Yeah, so I am a dentist. Yes. So I came here to do my master's as a dentist, and then I just started selling my services. And once I got those skills and experiences and stuff like that, then I just realized that, okay, now is I've tested out the waters as a sole trader, and in 2009 or 7, I established my limited company, and I could see that it's working, but I didn't want to do emergency service the rest of my life. And then I went to buy a real company. I found the company through my professional magazine, and what is the right price to buy? And what value do you give to the company? This is a very good question. When somebody goes to buy, is asking for 500K or 1 million. What is the right price? So this is something I have learned, that the right price is for you. Are you here for the long term? Do you want to make a profit in 5 years? Are you going to make a profit in 10 years? Are you here for the long term? Is that price, is that million worth it? Or are you want a short term? So this is something you have to judge, because for every one of you, the price of a company will be different in your mind. So you got to have that when you go there. How much do you value? Are you going to be here for the next 20 years and make that million into 5 million? That's the value. So you got to think, all the sellers are going to sell it for you for up there, but what you value. So that's where I want you to think, what value you give to your business. Are you here for the long term, and things like that. And of course, I didn't have any experts, and I'm grateful I listened to Juha now. I wish I had listened to him maybe 15 years ago. I would have learned a lot of things. Right now I was noticing, yes, these are the things I should have heard, but I didn't have anyone, no expertise. There was nobody in those days. There was no networking, nothing. So I learned a lot from your talk. That was really points there. And then what to watch out for. I didn't have an expert. I had an accountant. I asked him, my accounting, can you look at the accounting of this company I was going to buy? So I had already an Osaka Yuktiya or limited company, and I bought another company. So when you look out to buy a company, you got to watch out. There's a lot of liabilities if you buy a Osaka Yuktiya. If you're going to buy so that means you get all the loans, you get all the black things with you. So you got to watch out. And even if you sit with the best lawyers, you will not figure out what is going on. So another thing is, you go and work in that company, you get to know all the dirty things, and then you buy it. Otherwise, you're going to just jump in, and then you learn. And then you will know what happened to me, my pitfalls. So I'm just going to make it very fast. So yes.
Take your time, please.
So the company I bought was leaking money. So I paid a big amount, thanks to Finvera and the bank. And I bought it, but it was in the best place, in Helsinki, in front of Stockman. I liked that clinic, and I was looking for it for 2 years, and it was my dream. And I paid my price because I had to value it. She is asking for a price. Will I give it? What is my goal? I'm not going to go out of Finland. My goal is, this is the one I want. So you value yourself. So you value yourself. Is that worth paying? Yes, it was worth paying. And the previous owner, we had an agreement that she's going to be there to make the change smooth, but she was blocking everything. So that was also, for me, a challenge. And the size of the market, we are not in London. We are not having people coming around and you can change the market. So you got to know all these things. And even you make those business plans, it's going to just look for them good in the paper, but you got to just think what is going to happen. And I didn't have a network of colleagues here in Finland to scale up the business. And when dealing in business, I say this, and I'm very happy to say it now. Everyone has an image that the people from Nigeria or Ghana or India are the ones you have to watch out for. Watch out for the local guys. In business, watch out for the Finns. This is my key point. They are as much throat cutting as anyone. So my naivety was this, that when I went in and walked in there, I had goodwill and I trusted them, and I got slaughtered. I can tell you how many things I got slaughtered with. So there I learned in 3 years what to watch out for. And then the rescue plan. When do you go for your rescue? When you're looking at concourse or your bankruptcy. When after 3 years I'm looking at it that I've taken a big loan, my dreams are not coming out, you got to always plan for that thing. So I learned after that, things are not going. 3 years, she's not letting me do anything. I tried some things which you could work in London, it doesn't work in Helsinki. Cultural differences, all this. You're sitting there without getting any sleep. But then you have no way back. You are in Finland, you got to make it work. So that's where you got to come in. And that's where all of you will learn that whatever you go for the courses, it makes you what you are. So that's where I had to go after 3 years. And I had to think, hard reset. Hard reset with the staff, refinance the loan, bullshit your way, get that Finvera to give me another loan. And they did it. Thank you, Finvera. When the bank said no more loans, you bullshit your way, you talk yourself, you're smart enough, you got to do what you got to do and get that refinancing, and they put a little bit more money. Then you review all that ideas you had 3 years ago, your beautiful clinic, you review all those ideas again. You got to reinvent, learn, be mean, fire people, get what you need. And as he said, Juha, what happened to me was I bought the clinic, but I didn't change it. I got a clinic with a web page which was the Finnish flag, white and blue, blonde. That's not me. So for you guys, my idea is whatever color you are, whatever you're doing, make a brand value of yourself. Whatever you're doing in the restaurant business, do it. Because they look at you, when they come to you, they look at you. What is the value? And for whatever value you have, you got to put a price to it. Don't sell cheap. Don't sell cheap to the Finns. They will come after that, they will start talking bad about you. My clinic now has no advertising. They come to me. I have retrained myself in London. I sell something which is needed here in Finland. Nobody has it. So you got to find that value for whatever it is, a food or whatever it is you're doing, make a value. The Finns know the value. There's no difference between a Finn or anyone in London. So you got to find that value and then you got to sell it. So that's my main message for you guys. So any of you can succeed. If I have succeeded, and I've gone through that, and you got to know when there's no back door, when there's no father to send you the money, there's nobody, you will succeed. So that's my message, and I wish all of you will succeed. Thank you.
Do we have questions for Thomas?
Yes, I have a question. Can I have your the cards that we can comment?
Yeah, sure. Yes. Sure, I'll give it to you.
No question. I just want to have maybe business card.
Yeah, sure. I'll give it to you.
Yes, thank you very much.
Yes.
What was the thing that after you bought the spot across from Stockman, and you studied that business? It was ready business.
Yes.
Was it the same business, dental?
No, yes. So the first business when I did was I started an emergency service in front of the railway station where people could come in. And then I realized I couldn't scale it up. And because of no colleagues, the contacts and everything, I couldn't do it after 2 years, And then I realized that I needed, like they said, a company with ready money coming in and customers. And I also wanted my location to be right in the center. I had been all around Helsinki area, and I knew I needed to be there. So I already had this vision, and I bought that clinic. But when you buy a clinic, there's a business plan behind it which might not work for you and for me. So the business plan didn't work out. Even though I had customers, you have to reinvent yourself. You have to reinvent and make that business your own. Like you have said, I wish I had met you a long time back. And making it yourself, because you're not that finished person. You are who you are. So you have to make it yourself.
I understand
Yes,
that, but what happened because you lost after that 3 years? You start to lose.
Yes.
What
So
happened like from
so
the business?
the business that I bought had ready customers, and the customers and there was no on sale or social media and all this kind of thing. And already in 2013, the ex-owner was there. We had this agreement, and she was blocking all these things. I don't want my face to be put.
So the question, sorry to say that, was she sabotaging you because maybe she went somewhere else to open?
No. She was not sabotaging me, but she had her way of how it should be run. And because there was this goodwill between us, and I didn't want to, I just let it go for 3 years.
So she didn't tell you like the secret?
No, there was no secret, because her business plan was not working. You know, it is making that money which is making every year or the past few years, but I needed to scale it up because I have a loan. I've taken a big loan, and I need to scale it up. So that was where I learned that it is leaking money, and I need to do something. But she, in her own goodwill, was just blocking it, thinking that this is not going to work, and this is the present way. But you need to understand that when I bought this clinic, and I do this in Finland, you can't do something marketing like in London. You just do a boom and you have customers coming. So walk-in customers here are less. So all these things you got to take into account when you're starting a business. So you have to know your clients. You need to know, and if you don't know, like even a restaurant, you started, okay, nobody's coming. Then you got to find out what you need to do, what is not here, and go and get it. And put value to it, and don't sell cheap. Yes.
Don't sell cheap. Yeah. How is your company doing right now?
Yes, I have paid off all the loans. From 2016, I've paid off all the loans, even to Finvera. Thank you. I paid it all. I'm loan free, and still, so I've now completely loan free, and I hope that I can scale it up.
You have employees there.
Yes, I have employees. So we are we were at, before the corona hit, we were 5 dentists, and we had almost 6 nurses. Yes.
Wow.
But because of corona, we had to have a little things have been, but we are picking up again.
Okay, that's really, we are happy for you. How about more questions? Do you have any? Okay, there's one.
Yeah, thank you, Thomas. That was a wonderful thing to hear, your real experiences on ground and the way things changed over time. When you went for that second loan from Finvera and the bank said no, you go and find your way. So when the ship is sinking and you need cash, what is that selling point?
I was desperate. So when I went to Finvera, I just said that I needed to survive the next few months, and I went to Finvera with all the plans and all my spreadsheets, and what was I think I literally was quite confident when I went there. I was confident, and I had a meeting with 2 of their people sitting there, and actually the lady said no, but the man was the boss, and he believed in me. So he heard all my ideas and what went wrong. So I was being very honest with them, what was the problem with the company. That was one thing maybe. And I said this was what was going on, and I realized that I just need this small amount to get it. So in that way, they were very quite nice that they let me have that small amount. And then of course, when I had that small amount, I literally became lean and mean in business. So that is what every one of us will have to be, lean and mean in business, so that you know where exactly every penny is going. I would tell you that the website I made after that costed me only 500 euros. While in Finland, if you ask somebody, it's 5,000 euros minimum. So when you're lean and mean, this is where you make your new website with 500 euros. So it is a way of surviving. Thank you for the question.
Thank you. So great lessons. Thank you, Thomas.
Yes,
We are so
welcome.
glad that you heard this story. Thank you. Okay, now it's time to end this broadcast, and we want to thank you everyone who were following us online. Greetings to Oulu. I have been getting messages there from Oulu, and it seems like you are having fun, and now it's your time for networking as well. And greetings also to Seinäjoki. It's been very great that you were there as well.
And some comments from the online chat. They were really praising that Thomas, your talk. They were really exciting. So also greetings and thanks from that side. Earlier we have received, there are 4 questions online that haven't been answered yet. So Anneli, what do you think? Do we have any chance to get those questions answered somehow?
I think so. Yeah, but are they for who?
Yes,
for them. Okay, but maybe you can come here and if it's okay for you.
Yeah,
Yes.
there was one question about Finnvera, but I don't. That probably we cannot answer anymore.
Let's try.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah.
So one question first for Finnvera, and the others one are for you guys here. So the question is, I'm curious how the percentage of the guarantee is determined by Finnvera. What are the criteria 50 to 80?
Do you want to try?
Deal price, and you calculate from the deal price. Deal price 100, they give you 50 to 80%.
Deal price.
So deal price is the catch.
Okay.
Then the very first question was, how does business transfer process work for non-Finnish residents? Is it somehow different?
Mitä että? Ei, vastaa vaan, jos sä olit jo sanomassa. Ei kun sano vaan, your turn. Help me, your turn, joo.
Thank you. So my name is Maija-Pekka and I'm a M&A advisor at Tulosjärjestelyt. So we have recently helped actually an Indian couple buy a business here in Finland. And if you have your residence permit, then you can establish your own company. And that will not be an issue. However, if you do not have your residence permit yet, you will need someone who is a citizen in Finland or somewhere else in the EU to be on the board of your company, to be able to establish your company. And from that on, it's as straightforward as with anybody else. So as long as you have that one person who's a resident or citizen on your company board, you are good to go.
Thank you, Maija.
And
Any other?
And I would a bit add to that if you look at the Finnish buyer and immigrant buyer, I would say that this winning team is more important for you as an immigrant than for the Finn ones. So Finn ones, they get by with the less network, but for you as an immigrant, I would focus on making a winning team. Your turn.
Yes, there was one more question about loans. I wanted to know if this loan is also granted to a person who come to Finland for less than 1 year. So I guess
Maija,
with
do you have any
bank loans or
I
guarantees.
don't know.
If you have the residence so my understanding is that Finnvera does require you to have a residence permit to get the entrepreneur loan and to also get the guarantee. With the banks, I think it will depend on the actual business you are wanting to buy, and they are just looking at on the case-by-case basis. Yeah.
Okay. So it depends more your residency than the time you've been lived here.
And I want to add one idea about Finnvera, also kind of adding what we have heard. From my experience, if you are planning to buy a firm in Finland and you start negotiating with the Finnvera and you get positive decision from the Finnvera, it's a good sign. Finnvera is trying to do a professional job in checking you and your business and the deal. And if they vote for you, it's a good sign. If they don't vote for you, it's a bad sign.
Yeah, so not a bad sign for you personally, but
Yes.
but
Bad sign for the package.
Yeah, for the package. But this is, I think, very important. Like thought that sometimes these negative decisions, what you may get as an entrepreneur, are also helpful for you.
They save you.
They can save you and
yes.
prevent you from making some major mistakes. So it doesn't mean that if you this time you didn't get the guarantee that you can get it in the future. You just need to improve your business case and try again.
Yeah, excellent comments.
And I just wanted to add to this that it can also be the same package that you just repackage. So in a way that, you know, these deal conditions might not have been the winning ones from the perspective of the financier. However, just remember you're always negotiating with the seller, or whether you are the seller, then you're negotiating with the buyer. So it's usually a result of a compromise from the both sides. So what would be a better argument to go back for the seller than to say, sorry, I was, you know, really excited about this, but I mean the conditions that the financial looked at it, they evaluated, you know, with these conditions, with this price, you cannot pay it back. However, I have a new proposal.
I have a real life case where the asking price is, let's say, 700, and for the 700 asking price, the bank says yes and Finnvera says no. I look through the papers and the numbers, and my own thinking is that, you know, deal price would be right if it would be something like 400 to 500. And that's in that case, deal price is too high and Finnvera is saying no. And when I look the eyes of Finnvera person and say, how about if the price would be 450, then it would be okay. And that's like, you know, then you are not paying too high price, because like in your case, by my mind, you ended to pay too much because the stuff you bought wasn't the kind of you thought.
Okay.
Because of the old lady that stayed there and didn't allow you to change. It was not because of you.
Let's continue that discussion after we have say goodbye. Yeah.
But hey, thank you everybody for all of your questions, for the lively discussion. Thank you for our amazing visitors and entrepreneurs and everybody who have shared your experiences, also the hard ones, because actually from those mistakes and the pitfalls and the challenges are oftentimes that we can learn the most, not only from the successes, but how did you deal with the challenges. So very valuable for that. Now it's the time in Helsinki for some networking, whereas some of our remote people are finishing their evening. So we are coming to the closure of our joint time.
Yeah, and I want to say one more thing. Remember that startup is old-fashioned. Restart-up is the new fashion and modern thing. Thank you, everyone for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.